After divorcing from her ex-husband named Kamal, Maya has to live a simple life with her only daughter, Bella. They live in a run-down apartment close to Maya's work office. In that apartment, the crime rate is very high. Almost every week there are cases of burglaries and house burglaries. Maya, who works from morning to evening, begins to worry about Bella's safety. What's more, his only daughter is still in elementary school. Every morning before work, Maya always checks the newspapers to find a mortgaged house that suits her needs. He managed to find an advertisement for a house for sale which was not far from the office. Maya immediately contacted the seller of the house for a site survey. Not long after, the seller of the house asked to meet. Maya must be allowed to go out to see her target house. Arriving at the location, Maya was greeted by a seller named Chan. The owner of the house happened to be on his way there. Even though there wasn't much time, Maya chose to wait for the owner of the house before going inside. The owner of the house named Adnan arrived at the location and asked Maya to come inside. After seeing the contents of the building, Maya immediately matched. He asked for a fair price for the house. Adnan said the selling value of the land and the house and its contents was only 200,000 Malaysian ringgit, or equivalent to 663 million. Hearing the price, Maya couldn't refuse. He even asked why Adnan sold the two-story house, considering its strategic location in the middle of a densely populated neighborhood. Adnan said that if he wanted to move abroad, he had to sell the house. Maya also agreed to buy the house and asked Chan for help in finding funding that matched her monthly salary. In the evening, Maya accompanies Bella, who is studying, in her room. The boy recounted what he had heard from a neighbor this afternoon. Apparently, a neighbor's apartment was stolen when he was left out of town. Maya advised her son to always lock the door and not to let strangers into the house, including Kamal, who likes to gamble and gets drunk. In the morning, Maya gets into conflict with a new office girl in her office, Devi's aunt. Maya accuses Devi of tidying her desk so that all the clippings disappear somewhere. In the afternoon, Osman, Maya's co-worker, was informed that there was a guest looking for Maya. It turned out that the guest was Mr. Chan, who gave the latest news on the progress of the house that Maya wanted to buy. After checking the finances, Chan said that there was the right financing service for Maya. However, Maya had to pay 50,000 ringgit, or 165 million, as the base money. Maya, who only has 80 million in savings, also asked for time to pay off the initial fee. In the evening, before going home from work, Maya was asked by her boss, Mr. Kurup, to come into her room. Aunt Iza, Maya's best friend, became suspicious because Pak Kurup's room was tightly closed. That night, Maya was seen sobbing in Bella's room while telling her about her new house. As morning approached, Maya got a check for 80 million from her boss. Maya smiled at Devi while showing the check. Aunt Iza is getting suspicious and being curt at Maya. As an old friend, Maya realized that there was a change in Iza's attitude. He explained that last night, Mr. Kurup wanted to do lewd things to him in exchange for 80 million. However, Devi caught sight of Pak Kurup's crime and immediately raided the two of them while recording the incident with her cell phone. Devi threatens Pak Kurup to report the indecent incident to the police if Pak Kurup doesn't help Maya. From that incident, Maya managed to get 25,000 ringgit to pay off the initial money for the house. The Iza, who had been sullen, now burst out laughing. They did not expect that Devi, who looks fierce, actually has a soft and kind heart. Long story short, Maya packed all her belongings from the apartment to move to a new house with the help of her daughter Bella. Arriving at the house, the figure of the genie who was waiting for the house was already watching their movements. Bella helps her mother clean the house until nightfall. Seeing Maya sleeping on the chair, Bella covered her mother's body. Immediately, Bela heard the sound of glass breaking in the kitchen of the new house. He immediately woke his mother for fear of an intruder. Maya got up from the chair and checked the kitchen area. He was very surprised to see broken plates and glasses scattered on the kitchen floor. It turned out that Kamal, Maya's ex-husband, infiltrated the house and immediately held Maya's money. The 74/8 irresponsible man said that his life was in danger of being chased by loan sharks. Kamal evilly took money from Maya's bag and ran away. The next day, when Maya was working in the office, she got a call from Bela saying that Grandma, Kamal's parents, came to the house. Elsewhere, a gang of criminals, Bob and his friends, planned to carry out a robbery at Maya's new home. They thought the house was empty. When he got there, he found that the house was already inhabited. They left the house to carry out further tactics. In the evening, Bella is accompanied by her grandmother who sings a hymn for her beloved granddaughter. Bella got up from her seat saying that she smelled a nice smell from the direction of the cleaning room. The room was at the bottom of the stairs. When she was about to open the room, one nanny called out to Bella as if she wanted to block the child. After a few hours, Maya returned home. Bella said that Granny Nanny had come home. They returned to their respective rooms to sleep. In late night, Maya caught Bella not sleeping. The girl seemed to be talking to an invisible creature. Maya asked her son to go to bed early so he wouldn't be sleepy at school the next day. Immediately Maya smelled the smell of burning from downstairs. Maya rushed to check the kitchen, which turned out to be nothing there. Maya actually smelled a scorching smell coming from the room under the stairs. He opened the room and suddenly a ghost jumped on her face. The next day Maya worked in the office as usual. Kamal's phone rang again and Maya ignored it as usual. Isaiah advised Maya to block Kamal's number. Maya can contact her mother-in-law if Kamal's behavior bothers her. At the same time, Bella is still accompanied by her grandmother at home. The boy smelled the smell of burning from the room under the stairs. When he was about to check the room, the grandmother again blocked him. That night Maya returned home and checked Bella's condition in the room. Maya took her son to watch a movie together that night. Bella falls asleep while watching a movie with her mother. The next day, Maya called her mother-in-law, one nanny, who was Bella's grandmother. During the conversation on the phone, Maya received news that her mother-in-law had died a few days ago. Maya rushed home from work to pick up Bella at home. Arriving at the house, Bella had just come home from school, delivered by a school car. Bella saw the figure of her grandmother standing under the tree waiting for her beloved granddaughter to come home. Meanwhile, Maya just stays in the car checking her son's suspicious behavior. Bella immediately took her grandmother's hand and dragged her into the house. Maya increasingly panicked seeing the strange behavior of her son, who was talking to himself and acting strangely. Maya rushed into the house while Bella carried her grandmother into the room. Maya said that Nanny's grandmother had died a few days ago. Bella actually shouted at her mother to lie because her grandmother was accompanying her to play in the room. Bella took her mother to her room to show her the figure of her grandmother. Strangely, Bella's grandmother was no longer in her room, just disappeared. Bella cries knowing the fact that Grandma is gone. In the morning at the office, Maya meets Osman to look for Ustaz who can do ruqyah and exorcism of jinn. Osman said that he knew a cleric named Ustad Ismail. He always advised to often read the verse of the chair when the heart is not calm. In the evening, Maya invites Bella to pray together and pray for her late mother-in-law, one nanny. After praying for the late grandmother, the night was cooler and calmer. The gang of robbers came back at night to steal a black jar that was said to contain money and jewelry. Bob learned about it from his former boss, Mr. Adnan, who was the old owner of the house. They immediately broke the lock on the wall fence and broke the lock on the side door. At the same time, a ball fell from the second floor where Bella said that it was City's doing. Hearing a foreign name, Maya was even more confused. Maya asked her child who Siti was Bella referring to. The child said that Siti was a woman who had lived in the same house and slept in Bella's room. Maya took her son to the room to get some rest. Meanwhile, Bob and his friends managed to get into the house. Instead of looking for a black jar, Bob stole the Nutella chocolate from the kitchen and ate it. In the room, Bella is still trying to explain to her mother that she often plays with Siti. Bella insists that Siti is just like Grandma, sometimes appearing and disappearing suddenly. Bella has been friends with Siti since she first lived in the house. According to her confession, Sister Siti was often forced into the storage room for cleaning tools under the stairs. Every time Bella wants to open the room, the grandmother always forbids and blocks Bella. The girl made her own confusion. Maya said that Grandma had died and it was impossible to come home. Instantly, the electricity in the house went out. Bob and his friends were surprised because the lights went out and made a loud noise. Maya and Bella were frightened by the noise. Maya immediately called Osman to come to her house with Ustad. Maya said that in her house there was a terror that was very disturbing. Osman, who harbored feelings for Maya, immediately stepped on the gas to help. At the same time, Bob meets the ghost of Granny Nanny. They asked where the black jar was. Nanny immediately got angry. The two gangs of robbers were frightened and ran out of the house. Surprisingly, Bob turned around and walked down the stairs like a trance. They managed to find the black jar and hid in the room under the stairs after hearing a rumbling sound from the second floor. It turned out that the voice came from Bella's room where the bed was shaking by the devil. After the bed stopped shaking, Maya peeked under the bed, which turned out to be. They both screamed and rushed out of the room, but the door to the room could not be opened. From under the bed, a hideous genie figure appeared with a bright red face. The creature disappeared. Maya begged the demon not to disturb her family. The evil demon said that if Maya wanted to survive, Maya had to take the black jar at the bottom of the stairs and open the lid. Maya asked Bella to stay waiting in the room while she would take the black jar. Maya slipped out into the room under the stairs and reached into the warehouse with her hands. Bob suddenly handed over the black jar until his friend scolded him. Because her mother never returned to the room, Bella went out to look for Maya's whereabouts. Bella, who was frightened, immediately hid on the kitchen shelf. When he peeked out, the female genie figure was still standing in front of him. Before opening the black jar, Maya suddenly had a supernatural vision of the past. Adnan, the owner of the house, had a conflict with his own sister, Siti. At that time Adnan did not agree if Siti married a man named Man. Unfortunately, Siti is already in love with Man and still insists on marrying him. Adnan is furious because Man is a poor person who is not commensurate with his rich family. Adnan is getting angry with his sister and kills his own family. Man and Siti were gathered in one room and tortured in such a way that they fell unconscious. The bodies of the two helpless people were burnt to ashes. Adnan said his family was very ashamed because Siti married a poor person. After the murder case, Adnan's house is notoriously haunted. Many prospective buyers backed out because the ghost in Adnan's house was very vicious and terrifying. Adnan asked his right-hand roomie to call the Jukun to his house. The shaman immediately came and performed the demon sealing ritual. Using blood, the ghost man was caught while licking the human's blood. Even though Man's spirit was subdued, Siti's spirit was still free to roam and terrorize anyone in the house. Siti bullies Maya, making Maya's supernatural vision disperse. Maya is forced to open the black jar, but Maya is reluctant to open it because she knows that there is a ghost man in the jar. Bella appears in a trance and forces her mother to open the jar. Bella was possessed to the point of slashing her own hand to make Maya open the jar. When Bella was about to slit her own throat, Maya couldn't hold back her tears and immediately opened the black jar. Jinn, who possessed Bella's body, came out, making the girl unconscious. Maya was about to run to take her child for treatment, but suddenly a city appeared and grabbed Maya's leg tightly. Outside the house, Osman arrived and was about to break down Maya's door. Osman managed to open the door together with Ustad Ismail. Bella was again possessed by a demon and threw a knife at Ustad Ismail. Osman ran outside while Ustad Ismail and his followers started to ruqya Bella. The spirit of man went on a rampage and interfered with the ruqya process carried out by Ustad Ismail. Bella's body floated high until Maya held the little girl's body. Ustad Ismail removed the genie from Bella's body by patting the child's back. After Bella lay weak, Ustad Ismail said that the evil genie had left. He gave water and read a prayer to be rubbed on Bella's face while reading Shalawat 3 times. Elsewhere, Adnan, who was on his way, was startled by a flash of ghostly shadows passing by. Rumi suddenly stopped his car and checked the people who had just passed. Together with one of his colleagues, Rumi checked around the river. Surprisingly, Rumi and his co-workers mysteriously disappeared. Adnan got out of his car to look for the whereabouts of his men. While waiting for Rumi to return, Adnan lit a cigarette in front of the car. At the same time, Bella regained her senses and spoke to her mother in a low voice. Bella greets her grandmother Wan Nanny and says that they will be living alone in the house from that day forward. It seems that Nanny's grandmother said her last greetings to her dear granddaughter after helping to overcome the evil jinn attack in the house. And the film ends.